call the meeting to order. We have roll call, please.
Dennis Geig, present. Richard Cardone, present.
Mary Bryan, present.
Olivia Montgomery, present.
Darlene Brown, present. Okay, we'll go to the presentation of the colors by the Mojave High School ROTC, and we're glad to have you guys back. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, we're going to 1.3. Citizens, if you have not signed in, please sign in. All right, do we have any call to the audience? Okay, so we'll go to 1.5, approval of the agenda. Any motions?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
Okay, there's been an approval and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll move on to 1.6, superintendent's report.
Madam President, members of the board, we do have a little bit of a lengthier superintendent's report tonight because our principals are going to be doing a short presentation. And I understand some students might be helping them with that presentation. But before we get to that, I'm going to have our principals share their Students of the Month. And this year for Students of the Month, they're going to be getting our certificate, a medallion, and a gift card for In-N-Out hamburger. So let's start with Mr. Moore. Would you present CRUHSD Academy Student of the Month?
Madam President, members of the board, for CRUHSD Academy's Student of the Month this month is Jacqueline Meza. Jacqueline is a new student at CRUHSD Academy, and in her first week of school here, she has completed a total of 1,381 minutes of active work in her classes. And so she's doing a great job meeting her required 20 hours of minimum active work a week. And so I asked some teachers about Jacqueline and what they knew about her. And when I asked the staff, all staff had great things to say. They said that she's very, very respectful. She's a great model to her peers and is an extremely hard worker that cares about her education. And all of them said that she will go far in high school and beyond. So congratulations to our Student of the Month, Jacqueline Meza.
Congratulations. And Mr. Moore, while you're up there, will you present River Valley High School Student of the Month, please?
Yes, sir. So River Valley High School Student of the Month is Trinity Villegas. Trinity is a senior at River Valley High School, and she is also our student body president. She helped out at the district convocation for all district staff back in July, and I thought that she did a fantastic job at that. Trinity excels in her academics, and when talking to her about her academics, she said that she is also obtaining her associate's degree in liberal arts while completing her high school graduation requirements. She also is an extremely hard worker, and in the little free time that she has, she works over at Starbucks. After high school, she would like to attend San Diego State University for her bachelor's degree, and then plans to obtain her law degree. Trinity has shown that she has a great work ethic, and I'm confident that she will continue to do great things her senior year at River Valley High School and beyond. Congratulations to our Student of the Month, Trinity Villegas.
Congratulations. Ms. Gianna Moore, would you present Mojave High School Student of the Month?
So my student of the month is Zadiana Duarte, and you guys are going to see her probably 3 times tonight, but come on up here. Let me brag about you a little bit. This girl right here, we call her Zadi for short. So she is a senior at Mojave High School, and she is our Renaissance president, a member of the varsity softball team, and our senior class vice president. So Zadi hasn't had the easiest path in high school, but she is the definition of rising above. During her sophomore year, Zadi had to have major knee surgery. She wasn't able to play until the very last game of the season. Yet every day, she still showed up to practice. And let me tell you, I sat in right field every home game, and she was the loudest voice from that dugout. At the end of last year, Zadi ran for student body president, and she did not win. But she didn't let that stop her. The day she found out, it was our Renaissance field day. So instead of wallowing in self-pity, sometimes we do, she didn't. She again rose above. She assisted with making our field day a success. This girl was doing anything and everything she could to make this day better for everybody else. So when I was able to sit down with Zadi and I asked her, what do you want your senior year to be? She looked at me and she said, I want a school where everyone feels included. And I want a school where students can participate in events on campus. So when I gave her the opportunity to be our Renaissance president, she jumped at the opportunity to reinstate it. And so far, she's guided our group into creating faculty recognition, student-led activities, and rewards. And we are so excited for this girl to lead our school and to create a school culture where we are going to continue to rise. So we are proud to recognize Zadi as our Student of the Month.
Congratulations. Board members, would you join in for a photo? And moms and dads, if you want to come get a picture, come on up. Congratulations. Mr. Moore, why don't you stay up at the podium?
Yes, sir.
Madam President, members of the board, as you know, over the past couple of years, the school board has really been supportive of our district's collective commitments, focused on instruction and learning environment, and just really making sure that, I think this board has done a lot of work to make sure that our students and staff have the resources they need to be successful. So I asked our principals to put together a short presentation, and it's a simple question. Now that you have these resources, what will you do with them this school year? And so each principal is going to do a short little presentation on what their plan is to make sure we have a successful school year and that our students are successful. Go ahead, Mr. Moore.
Awesome, thank you. So Board President Brown and members of the board, thank you for being here this evening. I am pleased to present the 25-26 strategic plan for River Valley High School and CRUHSD Academy. Tonight I will share our goals, progress, and areas of focus as we continue to build on our commitment to student success. So I was asked to come up with a goal for River Valley High School this year. And what I really wanted to focus on this year that I think would increase our student learning in the classrooms is to focus on PLC effectiveness on campus. First, by establishing clear expectations for our staff. And I think myself and our admin team did a great job of this at the beginning of the school year, before school started. And we let teachers know exactly what we were looking for inside these PLC groups. Now, the biggest thing was collaboration. We wanted them to collaborate with one another to ensure that our students are learning. And what are they going to do if our students aren't learning? Being in the PLCs these past couple weeks, I think that our staff has done a good job so far. I think there's still room for improvement, but I think we're on the right path to making sure that we reach this goal this year. Now, my strategic focus for CRUHSD Academy, one of the things that I was looking at last year is that the amount of students that are getting their minutes online aren't up to where I would like them to be. And so for this year, my goal for CRUHSD Academy is to increase our average daily membership, ADM, of CRUHSD Academy students to a minimum of 20 hours of active work per week. We've put some intervention programs together, specifically one that we're really holding students accountable for achieving those 20 hours a week. And so far, looking at the numbers, we have a lot more students that are actively working in their online classes. And so I think that we're going to be able to reach this goal this year by making sure that hopefully all of our students reach this 20 hours a week where we know they're learning. Now to go back a little bit on the River Valley High School benchmark data from the spring of 2024. I do want to say that I wasn't the principal at this time, but looking back at this data gave me an opportunity to really set a foundation of where the school is at, where our students are at, and give me ideas for where we can grow moving forward. So up here you'll see our English scores. Our English department actually did pretty well this past year on their benchmark. You could see that all of them, except for that English 9, scored an 80% average on their benchmark scores throughout the year. And we also have some new English teachers on campus that are really eager and excited to really jump in and to ensure that our students are learning. So I'm confident that we're going to be able to continue this trend in English and continue to increase our benchmark scores for our students. Our math, we had some areas of, definitely some positive areas. For example, over there in geometry, you can see that tremendous growth throughout the year. We had pre-calc, they were doing awesome on that grade, or on that benchmark. DE, our DE classes, these are in-person classes on campus. It's one of our teachers teaching this college level class, and they were doing awesome there. Algebra 1 is a little low, and Algebra 2, and we have even had a dip in financial algebra. And so when we looked at this, I thought that we needed something. We obviously needed to get our teachers some more resources. And so with the help of Dr. Richard in the district, we were able to get them Carnegie Learning, a curriculum for math, for the general math classes. And I think that implementing this curriculum into our general Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, will really help to increase those scores. We also have a new financial algebra teacher who's really jumping in and is eager to teach these kids. And so I think that with these added resources, our math department is going to increase these scores. Over to science, environmental science is doing great. They did great all year. That final benchmark was a little over a 90% average. DE biology had a little fall off towards the end of the year, but they were doing pretty good all year. Physical science, we no longer are offering physical science. We're moving to chemistry to add some academic rigor into our classes. And DE anatomy did pretty well throughout the year. Now, biology is much lower than I would like, that I'm sure that all of us would like here. And so because of the physical science switch to chemistry, we had an opportunity to offer more biology classes on campus. And with that, we have more teachers teaching biology. And so that gives us a few things. One, those teachers can collaborate throughout their PLC and really work together on finding what works, what doesn't work, and to increase those scores. And so I'm confident with that, with our teachers, more teachers with that opportunity to teach biology, they will be able to increase that score. Social studies, we have an awesome world history teacher. I think he's doing a great job. He had over a 70% average on all of his benchmarks, and so that we're doing great there. U.S. history, we're a little lower than we'd like to be. Government and free enterprise, you could see that drop off towards the end of the year in that final benchmark. And as you guys know, we lost one of our teachers that taught government and free enterprise, and that definitely has had an effect on our school. It's also had an effect on student learning in that classroom. However, we do have a new teacher, a long-term sub in that position right now, who's really eager to jump in and teach this information, government and free enterprise, to these students. And I think that all three of our teachers in the history department, if they really embrace the idea of professional learning communities and really dive into collaborating with one another on what works in the classroom and what might not work, I think these scores will increase. So a little bit of insights that I took away from this data, besides the one I've already talked about. Positive note, 73% of subject areas increased their average benchmark score from their first benchmark of the year to their final benchmark of the year. And so we had that growth throughout the whole year, which I was really happy to see that. Students are still struggling in math, but with that Carnegie Learning, as I talked about, in all general education math classes, I think that will provide these teachers with the resources necessary to ensure that these our math students learn. We also, like I talked about in the biology, but also in some other areas around campus, made some staffing adjustments. I really wanted to dive in and look at where our teachers really could thrive. Where were their skills? Maybe it was a certain topic, maybe it was a certain grade. And I tried to make movements that would best fit the teacher's skill on teaching while also the students in that class. And so I think with both of those things, we will increase these scores throughout this year. I also revamped Dust Devil Time a little bit to better support our students in passing their classes. I say revamped, actually I feel like I kind of simplified it down a little bit for our students. It's simple. If you're passing your classes, you're going to get out, you're going to get some free time, you're going to get to have some fun out on campus. If you're failing one of your classes, you're going to stay back in a dedicated intervention session where that student will be able to get help with the teacher and really focus on increasing their grades. Once they're passing, they'll be able to go out for Dust Devil Time. So I feel like that's going to really help get our kids up to that passing grade, which will in the end help our benchmark scores. Kind of a fun thing I wanted to post up here. My admin team, we worked hard all summer beautifying the school, just doing a lot of improvements around campus. And one thing I'm really proud of, we built a new conference room, painted it up, got a nice large table, and I wanted to make sure that the first group to use it on campus, kind of my motto is kids first. And so I wanted the first group on campus to use it was our student council, and they did that over summer and just did a fantastic job. I'm really excited to see what they do this year. But so to kind of wrap things up here, the strategic plan really focuses on getting to that instructional excellence and student success that we want on campus. We want to give teachers the resources they need, and I think that has been done. And we want to make sure that all kids have a chance to succeed great things while at our school. And that's it. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, excellent job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Ms. Gianna Moore.
Ooh, that came out weird. We'll see how this goes. I did mine in Canva, so let's see how it prints out the PowerPoint. So board members, board president Brown, Dr. Richard, thank you for having me here tonight. And I'm excited to share Mojave High School's roadmap to success. Oh, that did not come out right. But I have handouts for you. So at the end of last year, we sent out a survey and we put together a committee, and the group was made up of students, staff, alumni, community members, and they come through all this data and they found that what it means to be a T-bird is to rise above. So on the back side, the white side, we're talking about rise above. And in the words of our student body president, Adrian Valaire, he said that rise above means to rise above low expectations, rise above labels that others try to put on us, rise above our mistakes, our struggles, and our past. Every kid can rise if they're given the opportunity and the support. So this year, they are not just words on a wall, but we are living our rise above motto. So I have the handout for you guys. And the 3 E's is enroll, enlist, and employ. So we are stressing the importance of the 3 E's in our classroom. So every teacher was given this handout when they came back to school. And we wanted to make sure that all students have the tools to pursue their post-high school plans. We want to prepare our students to enroll in college, university, or trade schools, have the ability to enlist in the military of their choice, and have the employability skills to enter the workforce. If you flip it over, on the tan side, is where our collective commitments meet our non-negotiables. So you can kind of see I gave the teachers a reason. Everyone likes to know the why. So we're pushing our school to align with no cell phones. Teachers are going to greet their students at the door. They're going to have a focus wall. They're going to have bell-to-bell instruction. They're going to provide a cooperative learning structure for students. They're going to have no tech Mondays for students. So we're going to get our kids actively engaged for those 40 minutes. And we're going to have on Mondays a place where everybody actually wants to come. Instead of dragging our feet, let's make it fun for our kids. Staff are going to monitor learning through movement, and staff are going to do academic intervention forms when students are failing. So what we could see from our benchmark data from last year is in mathematics, through all 4 benchmarks, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, we had a 63% passing rate. What we saw last year was inconsistencies in our staffing, and we're happy to say that we're fully staffed this year, and we're starting the year strong, building positive PLCs and using a consistent curriculum. Last year in English, through our benchmark 1 through 4, over all grades, we had an 86% passing rate, which is pretty high. But one area that we want to focus on this year is growing in reading and being able to analyze our informational text. And then in science, we noticed that between benchmarks 1 through 4, for environmental, biology, and chemistry, we had a 51% passing rate. And because it was not very high, we really want to put some emphasis in our strategies that we're using with our students. But what we did see is in that 4th benchmark that all of our subjects did grow. So how do we respond to the data that we had from last year? Mastery Prep came in and we did PD for our teachers. So Mastery Prep provides bell ringers and timers. So we're going to start teaching our students how to best prepare for testing. We're going to pull informational text from Mastery Prep so that students can get shorter passages with questions and they can continually practice those skills. And then in science, we're going to embed charts and diagrams and visual aids within the lessons so that students can see and respond, analyze, and say, here's what I see from this chart, here's what's happening. Our 60-day leadership and action plan, this is where we're going to inspect what we inspect. So administrators are going into classrooms daily. We're providing feedback to our teachers. Grow or Go, this is where we're going to start our formal evaluation. We're going to help our teachers grow as educators, and those who are just unwilling, they may need to look in the mirror and personally reflect if teaching is the right profession for them. Then by November, we hope to see pure implementation across campus. So this is where we have our momentum moment, and my momentum moment is our Renaissance leaders. These students came in constantly during the whole month of July. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And so instead of me talking about them, because they're my inspiration, I'm going to have Zadi come up and speak to you guys about our Renaissance's purpose and their passion.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dariana Duarte. I'm the president of Renaissance program here at Mojave High School. Our group consists of dedicated student leaders committed to enhancing our school community. Our mission is to ensure that every student feels welcome, supported, and motivated with a strong focus on encouraging school spirit and positivity. We actively recognize both students and staff for their hard work and academic achievement. We firmly believe that supporting students academically and encouraging a sense of school pride creates an environment where everyone feels safe, valued, and school spirit, and inspired to succeed. This year, we are excited to plan our field day event for Renaissance cardholders, specifically for our gold, silver, and bronze level students. Currently, we have a total of 180 silver cardholders and 110 bronze cardholders, and for the gold level, we have 126 students. And for the black level, we currently only have one student, with a goal to increase that number to at least 7 by the end of next. Additionally, we are proud to acknowledge our 106 students who have improved their GPA significantly. These GPA jumpers have demonstrated remarkable dedication, raising their grades by at least 0.5 or a whole point throughout the whole line. We look forward to continuing our efforts to support academic excellence and school pride and helping our T-Birds rise above throughout the year. I do have a little gift.
Do we have any questions?
No, that was great. Thank
Excellent
you.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like a good start for both schools.
Yeah,
All
and
three
I've
schools.
let the board know that Judge Austin's like president, the people that are in charge of the National Renaissance Program specifically recognized Mojave High School out of many schools in the country for what they're doing right now, kind of like a model for other schools. So that was pretty neat. Good job, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, I particularly enjoyed the grow or go mentality. I like that performance anxiety. That's great. You know, we're here for the kids, so I applaud your efforts. And when things don't work out, it's good to have a redundancy. So well done.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
I
So-
have a question.
Mhm.
Any update on the S3 at all?
No, I've not heard anything since the last update.
Okay, that's all. Thank
Okay, we'll move over on to 2.1, donations received and authorizations to write thank you letters. Donation of 12 yards of super soil valued at $702.26 from Fort Mojave Star Nursery, assuming this is the plant, the field?
Yes.
Okay. Super soil, that's good. And a donation of a wagon valued at $169 from Lowe's to River Valley High School for the football program. I want to thank you for the donations. Do I have a motion to approve writing thank you letters?
Motion for a thank you letter?
you. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, move on to the consent agenda. Do you have any discussion or anything on the consent agenda?
Madam President, I'd like to pull 3.2. Amber's Fieldhouse report.
Any others that need to be pulled? Okay.
Amber, I was just wondering, is there any physical plant problems that you notice? Anything going on that we need to be heads up to? We could plan ahead.
Only thing we currently have is getting the turf cover or the turf cleaned. Like that's the biggest project
Clean?
we have right now. Yeah. It hasn't been cleaned since we purchased it.
Okay. Is there some standard in the industry that you have to clean it so often, or?
It's supposed to be cleaned yearly.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to address that at some point. We'll look at that
Yeah.
immediately. Anything else? Any water damage with all the storms we had?
No, actually, we've been really good with our water damage. Like nothing.
Water heaters.
Water heater was just replaced today.
Was that under warranty, or was it?
No. Mm-mm.
Now, do we have any insurance, like, you know, you have homeowners insurance for a house that you know, your water heater goes down, it's covered, anything like that? I mean, is that covered under the trust in any way?
If it's damage, like a damage, that sometimes the insurance will cover it, but if it just wears out because it's old, we have to pay for it ourselves.
How is the water softener? I know we put that in a while ago. Is there any issues with that? Put maintenance with salt in there? How does that work? Do we have somebody bringing salt
Yeah.
and putting it in, or do we do it?
We do it. Yeah. And here in house, we purchased the
Okay.
salt, and Rebecca, our current custodial maintenance, she manages that and has it on a routine, or how often we have to change it out or clean it or add the salt.
Okay, but no glaring problems except the AstroTurf.
Correct.
Okay. All right, well, good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else? All right, then we move to 3.5, approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, discussion and possible action on present learning, providing various services, therapies, and assessment.
Madam President, members of the board, at the last meeting, the board had asked for some clarification on this document. If you guys could open it up, we made it very clear. Can you guys open that? It's very clear not to exceed that dollar amount right there, and it's even restated in that paragraph underneath. So I think that resolves the concerns that the board had at the last meeting.
Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? All right, can I get a motion?
Motion to accept 4.1 as written.
Second.
Hey, then a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, 4.2, discussion and possible action, an update on Attorney General investigation of former employee Corey Bird.
Madam President, members of the board, we were contacted by the Attorney General's office last week. They are still actively investigating this situation. They, through our attorney, will be scheduling appointments with some of our employees to ask follow-up questions regarding the matter. But that's the only update I have, is that it's an ongoing investigation, and they are questioning some of our employees to get further information about the situation.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. All right, 5.1, discussion and possible action on Mojave High School Charter Club application for a captain's club.
Ms. Janamore?
Good to see you all again. My athletic director, Mr. Horton, is actually at a training in Phoenix, so he sent me in his place. But I'm bringing you Kevin, Madi, and Zadi to actually talk about the Captain's Club.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Richard. Tonight, we want to request approval for Captain's Club to be established. As officers of the Captain's Club, it means a lot to us to take a leadership role and support all athletic teams at Mojave High School. We are committed to promoting school spirit and encouraging students to get involved by trying something new. We believe in leading by example as student athletes and being positive role models all across grade levels. with a special focus on inspiring and mentoring younger students. Our organization's biggest focus is to establish cornerstones for Mojave High School's athletic department. The main objective for our student athlete is to provide funding these obstacles that our athletes are constantly facing. An example of this is other schools in our area have better sports records due to having lower ranked divisions.
We want to establish this organization. Sorry, I'm going to adjust it a little bit. We want to establish this organization for several important reasons. First, we want to ensure that all sports at Mojave High School are recognized and supported fairly. We are aiming to create a strong sense of unity as the foundation of Mojave Athletic Department. This will help us plan and grow together for the future, including and improving our teams and our facilities. Our goal is to provide meaningful opportunities for teams to express both their needs and their wants. Most importantly, we strive to be the faces of our athletic department to bring out our sports teams together as one and be able to rise above any obstacles that may come our way.
As we rise above for our new school year, we do not want to promote teams individually, but we want to promote Mojave Athletic as a whole. The way we are promoting the teams this year is by a 3-level reward system. The packets we're handing you out will further explain our support system. There will be 3 levels: the Thunderbird, Gold, and Green level. The prices vary at the Thunderbird with $2,500, the Gold level at $1,500, and the Green level at $1,000. And with the Thunderbird level, they will be receiving a 55 by 55 inch gym banner in the new gymnasium, along with a 55 by 55 inch fence banner with their choice of the track field, the baseball field, or the softball field, along with the digital ad on the media table in the new gymnasium, as long as the Jumbotron in the field house, a monthly digital ad at the Mojave Athletic social media page, and 2 season passes to all home events, excluding playoffs and tournaments. The Gold level will also be receiving a 54 by 54 inch gym banner or fence banner, a monthly digital ad at the Mojave Athletic social media page, and also 2 season passes to all home events, including playoffs and tournaments. And the Green level will get a semester digital ad at the Mojave Athletics social media page and 2 season passes to all home events, excluding playoffs and tournaments. If you have any questions. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought this was for the, just having a club. I don't understand what this here, the sponsorship, what this is all. We're not voting on this.
The club will help the team fundraise, and that is what we would be offering businesses the format to how.
Well,
So-
I don't know that as a club, you guys can enter into agreements with businesses. I mean, maybe I'm, Dr. Richard, what is this all about?
Yes, that's a great question. Just to clarify, student auxiliary clubs for fundraisers, they can, as long as they have meeting minutes and they have a constitution and approval, they can do fundraising. It's pretty common. This is why they're asking for board approval to establish the club tonight.
So there will be like a salesperson for the
So what the
field
kids
house?
are
Yeah, I don't mind the club, but this just took me back a little bit. I don't know. We got to read through this a little more carefully. So this is not included here tonight, right? In any way, this is just an example of what they want.
It's just an example that they're looking at.
Sorry. It's just an example of a fundraising that they would do. So their goal is to raise funds as a whole in the athletics department. Some groups like golf who have less numbers than football, it's easier when you have, 60 kids helping you fundraise versus 5 kids or 15 kids. So their goal is as athletics to help them all rise above and all raise funds together.
So all teams and sports would be in this club, would have a representative
Yes.
in each club.
So each team would put forth a captain for the captain's club.
So they have meetings, like, I'll get.
Yes.
And they would determine where the money goes, which teams, how they would divide up the money?
Yes.
Is that,
Well, that's fine. The club is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But just anytime you have these kind of things where you're having a sponsorship and they're having a signature and they're holding harmless, anytime we have something like this, all this has to be brought to the board before they want to do anything like this. So we have time to, look at it, decide if we need legal input. But, I'm not against it in general, but as long as we're not voting on this today, I'm okay with the club.
Correct.
And just for the board's information, the way the process works is the club elects officers. They have a constitution. They have to have a meeting. They have to vote, have a majority rule. They have to have meeting minutes. Say they vote to sell candy or something as a fundraiser, then that goes to the student council who approves it or not. And then it must go to the school administration for approval. And that's the process. But the very first part of the process is to get board approval to have the club, and that's what they're asking for tonight.
When you say administration, that's below the board, just to be clear?
As the school administration approves the fundraiser after all the other steps have happened.
And does anything come here with those fundraisers?
No, the law on student auxiliary funds is that if it's student workers and the students are doing the fundraising and there are meeting minutes, because it's student funds, the spirit of the law is that the students are learning how to fundraise, how to keep inventory, how to keep accurate records, how to have appropriate meeting minutes, and the administration is there to oversee that. Historically, there have been issues with that in this district, which is why last year we came out with our new student fundraising guide, which maps out everything they're supposed to do, all the correct forms they're supposed to fill out. I think our schools are doing a good job of following that. It has been an adjustment, but we've recently put some new safeguards in place to make sure that things are being done the right way.
Yeah, when you're coming to the custody, it's a granted funds, but, making sure that the stewardship of the funds is very responsible. And, if they need help figuring that out, that's provided.
and those funds are audited, our auditors each year.
Yeah, it's one of the first things the auditors usually look at is to make sure. So, for example, if a club says we're going to sell candles and we're going to sell 10 candles, $5 each or whatever, they have to inventory all of that. They have to have the meeting minutes and the receipts and that deposit into the bank account. And then if they choose to spend some of that money they raised, they have to vote to say, okay, we're going to spend $25 of what we raised. And those meeting minutes have to match up with the withdrawal. And all that stuff has to be kept on records. And the auditors come and look at that. And we've done a lot of work at the district level and the site level and lots of trainings to make sure we have a system in place to make sure we're following those safeguards so that it's being done the right way.
Just so I understand, so use the candy example. So let's say they want to sell candy. Do they start with a budget, or do they have to seek a donation to have money to allocate?
Yeah, they start from nothing. And so some clubs, like I said, they have a constitution. Some clubs might say that you have to pay a dues to get started. Some clubs start from nothing and just come up with different fundraisers. The spirit of it is to teach students business management and Robert's Rules of Order and voting and making decisions and all that type of stuff.
Well, this is my concern. Like, say on this front page here, they're collecting money from somebody for their club, but the school district is taking on the obligation of doing these things. Maybe they might do it, but they're still hanging it in our facility. They're hanging these banners, 2 free tickets. See, they're selling something that they don't kind of have the right to sell. They can't sell 2 free tickets to our event. You see what I'm saying? I can see if they're trying to get money, donations, that's great. They're going to split their money up within their own organization is fine. But when they're like 2 passes to all home events, I don't know that they can then do that without bringing it. Because what they're doing is essentially selling tickets to our venue without our oversight. So that's my concern. It's fine if they want to raise money, it stays in their thing, fine, but they're raising money vicariously through our organization and our physical plan. So that's my concern. That doesn't seem like they should have that latitude to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Just so you know, games like a football game or a basketball game, that gate money is also under the student auxiliary umbrella. So I believe that it's okay in that circumstance. Could they rent out the field house? No, they don't. They're not authorized to do that. But certain events that fall under the umbrella of student auxiliary would be okay.
Could we vote on approving the club and you follow up on this type of fundraising with the attorneys?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we are for sure know that there's no conflict on doing this type of thing. Then I motion to approve the club.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded. Any approvals?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll move to 5.2, discussion and possible action on the first read of new policy updates based on recent legislation.
Madam President, members of the board, this typically happens every year. The state legislature changes the law. We get one of the advantages of being part of the model policies is the trust informs us of how those law changes impact our policies. We did get this up on the draft agenda for you to see, I think about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you've had a chance to view them all or not, but Aaron, if you could click on one just so I can show an example. If you scroll down a little bit so you see a highlighted area, when you went through here, you should have seen these highlighted areas. These are the additions that are being recommended based on the laws that were passed. So I don't know if you've all had a chance to review these, but a lot of it was nothing major, no major substantial changes, except in a few areas regarding what I would say are minor changes to the law. There's some that might be a little more significant, but we tried to make it easy for the board to see. So we just highlighted the areas that have been changed or added to per the legislative updates.
I
We would
did
ask the board.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Here's my problem with this. What happens is these attorneys don't know our policies that well. And when we update our policies, they seemingly don't update our policies. And what they do is they have their original template, okay? Then they get the change, they put the change in, and then we're under the focused attention that it's just a yellow area. And we vote on these, and what we do is then we put a bullet in our foot. Turn to the top of page 3 here, okay? Now, right about there. Now, for about 2-3 months, we went through how board agendas are made, okay? We went through that painstakingly, how they're made. So our attorneys must have sent us old bylaws that we've changed several times already to reflect exactly how we want it, because what we have voted on unanimously, I might say, is not number 1. The superintendent is authorized to develop an agenda with each board meeting in collaboration with the board president and board. Board members may also request that a specific item be considered for placement on the board agendas. That's clearly not what we decided. So what happens is, if you're not watching these attorneys, all of a sudden you vote on it and you have the idea, well, the only thing that's been changed is that yellow area. And you just put a bullet hole in your foot because we did not agree to that. That is in complete contradistinction to what we voted on, and we would put a bullet in our foot. Did you look at these before you put them on the agenda?
I have looked through them, yes, but no, I didn't look at every single word.
Is in your favor. This is what we were trying to get away from, where the board president unilaterally decides on the agenda. So you knew this was on here and let it go,
Well, I read through them, yes.
but not carefully? Or
I-
you saw it and were like happy it was on there?
Well,
What did you do? I mean,
No,
when-
because
usually
this
what you
is
do
the
is have to
fir-
read the agenda and see what's on there before you
The-
put it on.
because this is the first read, then
Well,
we
so
have
you're trying
time
to
to
sneak it by the
discuss
first
it.
read?
No,
You
I would,
agree that we went several times back and forth with the language. You guys all know.
yeah, but I don't think, do you have the original language before this revision?
Well, yeah, we finished
no,
that
I
2
did not
months ago.
have that in front
What are
of
you
me.
talking about? That's incorrect. We had that. Michelle went through that. She had that original language that we changed it. It was voted upon and done. Right, Michelle? There's no question.
But-
Yes.
Well, what happens is this. Here's really the essence of this. When we have a policy change, we have to feed it back to our attorneys, okay, who don't know that we've changed a policy that they sent us. And then when they send it back to us, they have this template at their offices they send to 50 schools. And if one school changes it, they don't know that. And they have the original template. So if something changes on the bottom, they change that, send it back with that change, but it reverted back to the original language that they put in there, which is not what we voted on. And then accidentally, we would vote on this thinking it's just a yellow area that's changed. And this might be fraught with changes in these 79 pages. Who knows how many things? I mean, I was going through as carefully as I could, but you'd have to have, the whole board would be together. Is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay?
And that is what we did when Nancy was with me, because I was new too. So we had to get the originals, like what we currently have, not what the attorneys, but what we have here at the district. And what we did is we have to go line by line, paragraph by paragraph, to make sure it has to change. So we're gonna need more time, and if you can send us all what we have filed electronically, so waste papers.
So we could get a work meeting to do this.
Okay.
Have a work
No,
session.
we can't be making extra meetings. I mean, the attorneys have to know that if we change our bylaws and policies and procedures, which we did, they have to be, concerned enough to change it on their template. So when they send it back to us, we'll not have to watch what they do, watch their work product, and go through this like with a fine-tooth comb. So, like I said, if you knew it was there, why did you allow that to be on? I would have struck it immediately. Say, hey, listen, this is in violation of what we voted on.
Because I didn't have the original in front
what do
of
you mean
me.
you don't have the original?
There was nothing,
I mean, you didn't have to have
nothing
the
trying to
original.
get anything by you.
Well, I mean, then you didn't look at it very carefully, right? It's one or the other,
Well, I read them all, but I
but
didn't
not
know.
carefully, I guess.
I guess not.
Okay, good. Well, then at least that's settled.
Can we table it and get that data and reflect on the record that is tabled pending you sending that electronic file, current policy?
Okay, do we have a motion to table this?
Second.
All in approval?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the board is going to enter into an executive session. So we have a motion to enter.
Motion.
Make a motion to enter an executive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll reconvene the regular meeting. 7.2, discussion and possible action on setting performance and evaluation goals for the superintendent for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a second?
I don't know what that motion was.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Hey, setting the date and time for future meetings will be September 8th. Everybody okay with that? Back to the regular time,
Yeah, it's fine for me.
6 p.m. meeting. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.